Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with another competitive Pokemon Sun and Moon moveset analysis video guide on how to use Celesteela. Now Celesteela is what I would compare it to is like a mixture of Skarmory and Ferrothorn. It's Steel and Flying, has a bunch of resistances, amazing stats all around outside of speed. Base 101 attack, base 103 defense, base 107 special attack, and base 109 special defense. So it has amazing defensive and offensive stats with a great ability in Beast Boost, which obviously boosts the highest stat by one stage if this Pokemon KOs another Pokemon. And basically it's Skarmory. It's Skarmory. It's weak to electric and fire, and outside of that, nothing else. It has a bunch of resistances that are very key, such as Fairy, such as Dragon, Psychic, and whatnot, and it takes neutral from moves such as Fighting. It's obviously immune to ground, so Flying type pairs very well with Steel type, and it just has events. It has great offensive coverage and a great move pool. So all around, it's an amazing Pokemon. Also being immune, of course, to poison is pretty cool, because as a defensive Pokemon, not being able to be poisoned is really solid on one of them. So Celesteela, all around great Pokemon. This is probably its most common set, and that's especially defensive. Now, this set runs Heavy Slam, Leech Seed, Protect. Leech Seed and Protect are the thing that Celesteela loves to do most, because it can wear down Pokemon that it can't normally beat, or that Pokemon that it can't damage outright with its set. Pokemon like Marowak, which run the Thick Club, or they could run Leftovers, but they run the Thick Club. They don't have Recovery. You Leech Seed, you Protect, you get off. That's 2 turns of damage right there. You Leech Seed on the switch, and then you Protect. They don't damage you, and you took off a bunch of damage on them. Flamethrower can be used as a last move, which allows this Pokemon to touch opposing Celesteela. Ferrothorn, beat Scizor 1v1, and also damage or out-damage Skarmory. Basically, what this set does is it checks a lot of the giant threats in the tier. I'm talking about Specs Tapu Lele. Specs Tapu Lele cannot break through Spadef Celesteela unless it's Thunderbolt, and even then it's a 2-hit KO. If even that, after Leech Seed and Protect, it can't 2-hit KO you, so you can damage it and knock it out with the Heavy Slam. But also being able to wall Dragon types like Latios and Latias. Giant offensive threats like Landorus Eye don't break through you with Focus Blast, especially after Leech Seed protecting, and they have to hit Focus Blast as well. Celesteela is all around just a great, solid defensive mon. You can also run physically defensive. I actually put physically defensive if I feel my team is weak to Golisopod, and I want to Leech Seed, Toxic. If I feel that my team is weak to Swords Dance Scizor, offensive Swords Dance Scizor. But generally, special defensive is the way to go. But you can go physically defensive on the set, which is why this set is called defensive, because it can go both ways, defensive or special defensive. Again, Celesteela is the type of mon that you toss on your team when you need a ground immunity, when Tapu Lele is a threat. And it just fits all those roles. If it had Spikes or Stealth Rock, this Pokemon would probably be used over Skarmory. Obviously, Skarmory has Defog, but again, I compare this mon to Ferrothorn and Skarmory because it's Skarmory with Leech Seed, which is pretty much a move that would obviously help out Skarmory, but Skarmory does have access to Roost. But it's a non-roosting Skarmory, but it's Skarmory with Leech Seed that has just all-around amazing offensive and defensive stats. Heavy Slam is really solid because you're extremely heavy. I know that sounds stupid, but just to say, but you are a very heavy Pokemon, so Heavy Slam comes off almost at max power versus the majority of the tier, and everything that doesn't touch, again, Flamethrower smacks. And you can run Earthquake as well. Earthquake helps you deal with Pokemon such as Magnezone, which can trap you. It also allows you to 2-hit KO Marowak upon switching, and also being able to 2-hit KO Heatran with the Earthquake as well. So those are just a few Pokemon that Earthquake can hit over Flamethrower. I typically love Flamethrower though, because Genesect, Ferrothorn, Scizor, Skarmory, being able to check them, being able to either OHKO them or check them with Flamethrower, as well as still being able to damage Magnezone, just makes Celesteela one of those great Pokemon. So Autotomize is the next set that we do. What the hell just happened on my screen? Autotomize is the next set that we have. Now, Autotomize boosts is base 61 speed to basically +2, and what that allows it to do is 221 at +2 outspeeds Pheromosa, max speed Pheromosa by 1 point. Now this set, you don't necessarily have to have Leech Seed on it, but I've seen and I've used and I've had a lot of success with Leech Seed over Flash Cannon, but Flash Cannon can definitely use to hit fairy types and just hits solid neutrally. But Air Slash and Fire Blast is typically the coverage that I see myself using or that I see myself needing most of the time, because special attack is your highest stat. If you get a kill with this thing, you can knock something out, you get the special attack boost. Air Slash and Fire Blast is pretty solid coverage. In general, outside of steel types, so Earthquake can also be ran as well. Outside of, not steel types, but outside of steel types that heat ran. So Earthquake can also be ran as well. That Flash Cannon also allows it to hit rock types like Gigalith, like Lycanroc, like Tyranitar. Let me name a rock type that's actually more of a threat, like Tyranitar for damage. So you can run Autotomized, Flash Cannon, Air Slash, and Fire Blast. But the reason I actually like Leech Seed on this set is because Celesteela forces a lot of switches, and it sets up for its own sweep. So what I mean by that is if your opponent goes out to Marowak on the Leech Seed and they're running a Thick Club, by getting off that Leech Seed, you're getting off chip damage plus Stealth Rock. They're weak to Stealth Rock, and the Leech Seed plus Stealth Rock, plus if they go for Flare Blitz on whatever comes in after, they're taking their own damage. They're doing damage to themselves to the point where Air Slash knocks them out later if you want to set up. But again, you can run Flash Cannon on the set to be able to do damage. Energy Ball is also an option if you want to hit Pokemon like Rotom, for example. Fire Blast is ran over Flamethrower because at +1, that's nuking Magnezone, whereas Magnezone can take a Flamethrower, but Fire Blast is nuking Magnezone after the Beast Boost boost. So again, Autotomize, the idea of the set is using Celesteela as more of a sweeper, more so than defensive pivot. Though just because of its natural defenses, like look at that stats: 336 HP, 242 special. 238 special defense, 242 defense. So without any investment at all, Celesteela is still able to take a bunch of hits just because of its natural bulk. And that's why Leech Seed is also very solid, because if you can take a weaker hit, you go for Leech Seed. With Leftovers plus Leech Seed, you're getting it back. I do want to say that on a defensive set as well, you can also run something like Sub Toxic. I've seen Leech Seed Protect Sub and Heavy Slam as well. The defensive set has a lot of moves that you can play around with, and again, so does the offensive set. You can run Earthquake. You can even run Heavy Slam, even though Autotomize does make you weigh less, like you lose weight off of it. Heavy Slam is still coming off at 120 base power versus most Mons. But again, this Pokemon has so many options that it has, and that's why the other options tab isn't really filled up, because I'm just going to talk about them. But I do want to say one more thing. On the defensive set, or about the defensive set, Shed Shell is also a very, very, very viable option. Magnezone is running around everywhere. You don't want to be trapped. You lose out on Leftovers recovery, but with Leech Seed and Protect, you're getting things back. Like, I'll give the example of Magnezone comes in on your Leech Seed. You Protect. Magnezone already lost a good portion of its HP, and then you can switch out after and basically save your Celesteela. So Shed Shell is definitely a very, very, very viable option, and I would slash that next to Leftovers on Celesteela. I've also seen Rocky Helmet, which abuses a Pokemon such as, let's say, Golisopod, which hit you with first impression. They'll take a bit of chip damage from there. U-turn Scizors trying to get on out of there versus you. They take a bit of chip damage. So Rocky Helmet's also another move, but I'd slash that last. I think Leftovers and Shed Shell are the two best items on the defensive set. Now, other options, Celesteela again has such great move pool. You can run an Assault Vest on that. You can run Assault Vest with like Heavy Slam, Fire Move, Earthquake. And then your last move could be like Seed Bomb or Energy Ball, something like that. Definitely works on Celesteela on an Assault Vest set. It has the move pool to abuse all those moves, and the Assault Vest obviously allows you to switch up moves. Fire Blast can also be ran over Heavy Slam. That allows you to outright damage opposing Celesteela a lot more. Fire Blast can also be ran over Flamethrower, not Heavy Slam. No, keep Heavy Slam on set. Fire Blast can also be ran over Flamethrower, and that allows you to damage Celesteela and Magnezone for a lot more. This thing can even run a Choice Band. I'll show you a calc right here with Choice Band, Heavy Slam versus physically defensive Tapu Fini. It's a 94% chance to 2-hit KO. That's bulky Tapu Fini. You can also run Seed Bomb on that, which smacks Pokemon such as Keldeo. Keldeo doesn't appreciate this either. Like, your Heavy Slam is a 2-hit KO on Keldeo most of the time after rocks. So Choice Band is definitely an option. You could even run Specs. Again, it does have the move set to do it. It has Fire Blast, it has Energy Ball, it has Air Slash and Flash Cannon. That's pretty much what you need on that. It also has Stone Edge. So Celesteela is one of those Pokemon that has been blessed with a very, very wide move pool and has the stats to back it up. It just has great special attack and great attack. Special attack is his best stat, which is surprising. When you see this thing, it's just a monster. But its special attack is his best stat, and you can definitely abuse that. And I didn't really want to make sets on these because I don't think they're... I think they're definitely options, but I don't think that... If anything, this is his most common set. Special defensive is his most common set, and you can even run physically defensive, as I mentioned. And then I've seen a Totemize as well. But again, Sub-Leech is also an option. Assault Vest is definitely an option on Celesteela, and then you could even mix it up with Life Orb Totemize, Mix Totemize, Stone Edge even has that for fire types in the air. I'm talking like Charizard Y and things like that, Talonflame, which isn't as common now, but definitely still something that Stone Edge would hit. But it's a Pokemon that has an amazing move pool, and it's really up to you what you want to make with it. I know a moveset video is supposed to give you a general idea on the Mon, but I think these are its best sets. Again, you can run Flash Cannon over this, or Earthquake, but I definitely just wanted to give you the... I wanted to say this because I wanted to give you the option to do what you want with this Pokemon. Celesteela is the type of Mon that you can definitely do what you want with it and customize it. So if you think your team is weak to Tapu Lele, which it probably is, it's Specs Tapu Lele, Scarf Tapu Lele, threats, man. You can just customize for that. And you can even make your EV spread be able to take moves. I typically run like Relax with a bunch of special defense to not be 2-hit KO by Focus Blast by Tapu Lele, but that's really up to you. You customize Celesteela to what you need it to do. But in any case, guys, hope you all enjoyed, hope you learned something. Feel free to check out the previous moveset analysis that are in the playlist down below. Feel free to subscribe, follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Those links are down below, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, friends.